I never got around talking about how it was being a veteran going to school. So after separating in 2017, I went to school. I came back to Washington and I went to Central Washington University. I didn't go to the main campus. I went to one of their satellite schools, which was located in Linwood. Check a couple videos out if you want. I decided to pursue my bachelor's in marketing, and I double majored with supply chain management. I thought it would be a good idea. I wasn't going to go into marketing. It dropped. So I wasn't going to go into marketing. I was just going to do a general business administration degree. So this one has a little sauce, as you can see. Like a spicy meal. So I was just going to do a business general degree and graduate as soon as possible. I thought I was almost done with my other degree, so I could double. I was going through the University of Maryland University College. I started that when I was in the Air Force, but their program, I don't know if it's changed, at the time wasn't certified. So a lot of my classes I wanted to transfer wouldn't be taken by Central Washington University, which is kind of sad. But going on there is, so I decided to do that, and I decided to, why don't I just get like a supply chain management one, or it was either marketing, because I wanted a marketing degree to help with my YouTube, because I really wanted to get into YouTube and making videos. And pretty much I said a marketing degree would match up. And then I had also enough time waiting for some of the classes for marketing to double major. So I decided to do supply chain management, being transportation back in the military. So making that short, it was definitely interesting. I think going to military, from the military to the civilian world, is a big transition itself. But going from military to school itself is something different, right? A lot of times you have to realize, especially if you go to like a 4-year university, like the traditional ones, and understanding that a lot of the student population is going to be younger because they're going from high school straight to college. I went to a satellite school that was more for a commuter. So that means it was understandable that a lot of students attending that university were working full time. They had lives outside, so they were more established, a good amount. So the age group was a little leaning more toward where I was in my life, which was a little maybe 20 plus, maybe 23, 24. Don't get me wrong, there was young people in that college, but definitely a closer age group. So at times it was difficult because when you're in the military, you come with a lot of experience. I feel like you are developed over life personally, but also through experience for your professional side. You experience a lot in the military. You grow up very quick, and from not only your time in the military, doing the job you're doing, but the experiences traveling around the world, being deployed, etc., is like you grow in so many different ways. And sometimes you just have these different experiences, and so sometimes it is difficult to work with individuals who are just starting their life. I think one of my old supervisors put college the best way. It is a scaffold. So pretty much students are put into college where they can grow, make mistakes, but there's like a safety net. It's really for them to grow as individuals. Like if they make a mistake, it's not the end all be all, right? There are situations or scenarios that, of course, that would happen. But a lot of times, like if they miss assignment, if they wake up late for class, that's not end to be all, right? They'll go maybe remind them, hey, you need to come to class. Because this is the first time a lot of these students are coming out of school. I mean, living on their own potentially, having to manage their own time and stuff like that. So I think it's almost similar to military members who are first joining the military right out of high school as well. It's such a new experience. You're being thrown into something new. You have more independence. So it's almost there. But I think a lot of times I noticed, especially when I attended PLU, Pacific Lutheran University, for my master's, I think going through Central Washington University helped me because at times I was still in the military mindset. A lot of times I would need to get the projects done. I needed to have this done. Why aren't you doing your part? I can't move forward without yours. You're responsible for that. We're a team. But it was the mindset of getting things done. And I had to understand that it wasn't all be all, right? If assignment wasn't finished on time, if we had to ask for a extension from a professor, it wasn't that serious compared to in the military, where you would say to your leadership, you wouldn't be asking for extension, or you have to detail everything of why you wouldn't, like why you couldn't finish a mission or you couldn't finish the assignment that was put given to you. And I think that was like such a shift in the mindset. I was such a go, we need to finish this, we need to finish this. And then there was people around me who like were working in projects or even in class who didn't have that same mindset. Maybe at times I was so rigid and set in my ways, and I was still trying to transition. Had to learn like it is okay that some assignments aren't on time. Some people didn't do their part. You might have to pick up some slack and stuff like that. Because when I was in PLU and they had this veteran, orientation sort of like students, there was like a big audible groan among veterans when they had to, the mindset was when the person in charge of Veteran Center explained, you're going to have to work with different groups of people. You're going to have to work with groups of people who are non-military, and it's going to be such a big change experience because they don't have your mentality of getting this assignment done, your drive to finish as soon as possible, cross your T's, dot your I's, etc., right? And it really hit me, and I'm glad I went through that in Central Washington University because it really showed me that you had to be patient. There was still an opening for, as a veteran, you had an opening and mindset that you could still learn. You're not perfect. You haven't experienced everything. And it really also taught me at times the idea of empathy. Is in the military, our mindset is we have experienced many. And sadly, you all, like military members, have lost, brothers and sisters. They lost some of their best friends in combat. They had to see people, die in their arms sometimes. And we go into this situation where people are upset about maybe different things, right? They'll maybe be upset about school, missing assignment, getting their first B or something if there were. But the idea is you had to understand it. Sometimes I feel like we minimize those kind of feelings, saying, well, I went through something tougher. I actually lost friends. I actually lost brothers and sisters. But we have to understand that maybe is something big in our perspective in our life, but we can't minimize what they're going through, right? Their whole world could be education. There may be like before college, they were a straight A student. Their parents drove them really hard to get good grades so they could get in college, and getting a B could really hurt them. And we have to understand that getting that B could be like something really affecting their mindset. And that was something I had to learn and really shift my mindset is just because I have experienced many different things, mine wasn't on a higher plateau than theirs. I had to understand this was maybe important to them. If they were going to struggle in doing assignments and stuff, I had to try to see from their perspective why they were doing that. And that was definitely a shift because at times I really just was there to get it done, get my assignments, move on and stuff. I wasn't really trying to build community. I wasn't really trying to go in there, and I ended up working at student leadership. And this really allowed me to immerse myself at Central Washington University. And then at Pacific Lutheran University, I worked as a graduate assistant. So I was really immersed in those different environments. I was really immersed with the student body. And I think that allowed me as a veteran to really understand the importance and see the perspective from the other side. And that was my hope to, help fellow student veterans coming into a school environment, that it's okay to become open, to understand, immerse yourself in the school experience. You have so much, I think, to teach and share with others, but at the same time, you have so much to learn as well. And allow yourself to learn from others to share their experience, because no matter how much you've gone through, they may most likely have things that they experience that you have never experienced as well, and you as well, vice versa, right? And that was something I had to learn as a student, as a veteran going to becoming a student. That was the shift. And I think Central Washington University allowed me to do that shift and grow from that experience. And I think that was one of the most important, impactful. It was definitely hard at times at school. Like I wanted to finish all my assignments. I didn't see the point of all this extra stuff, the events and all that. And that's why I also, because attending Pacific Lutheran University, it was more traditional school, right? For me, and it wasn't a commuter school. So the mindset was really school events, immersing, learning to know each other in the dorms and stuff. Because I actually, as a graduate assistant, that was one of my the benefits, like how the compensation is actually being living in the dorms, like your rooming. So that was an experience. Like I lived in the dorms when I was in the military Air Force, but it was all with other military members, right? And again, very similar mindsets and stuff like that. But that was something learning and understanding like this, everything I learned in the military could not translate just right into the civilian world, especially in a school environment. I had to be learn more patience. I had to understand, everything didn't have to be so direct, try to understand different perspectives. So that was. So from a veteran to anyone who's becoming a student, my basic advice is really try to immerse yourself into the school environment. I'm not saying you have to jump into it. If you're there to just go to school and get things done, definitely. Maybe start off working with other student veterans. Find ones who have been there for a while, see their perspective, interact with them. Be open to trying new one, like things. Join a club. If something interests you, try that. If your classes or programs have it, go work with it. If student leadership something, if you have that experience, find a school job in some kind of sense. I think those ones can really help you immerse yourself in school environment and just be able to interact with people in like a more, setting that maybe is more comfortable. Definitely be opening to like working with people of different backgrounds. We do that in the military, right? We always do that. But understanding that they have a lot to offer just as like you have to offer. Understanding the mindset, it's not going to be a more autocratic kind of like style management. Understand it's going to be more cooperative. Everyone's not going to work at the same pace. Understand that they'll have their strengths and weaknesses just like yourself. And I think that will go a long way and be very helpful. But yeah, I just really want to talk about it. I mean, more talked about my program, but that was just my experience going as a veteran to school, becoming a student after I separated from the military, first going to civilian stuff. I think it is like sometimes people do use that transition period from being a veteran to being a civilian, then going to school. I think that would help in some kind of sense because you'll better assimilate back to the civilian world. But if you jump right into school, I don't think there's anything wrong. It is going to be an adjustment period, but give yourself some grace. And I hope you understand and go in with an open mind and try your best to interact with people in the best way as possible, because I think you have that sense of experience that you can offer to them, but also they have so much to offer to you as well, in my perspective. Go in an open mind, talk to professors, grow, network as best as possible, not only within the veteran community, but also just in your school. Get involved if you want to become an alumni on that sense and stuff. And understand that organization is there to help you. There are going to be some bumps in the road, but definitely a lot to learn. And I think every veteran is going to, if you do go through school and everything, not only through an online program, but if you actually go in person, you'll gain something. And I hope you go into it with an open mind and with a great positive attitude. And I hope you build great connections, make potentially relationships, and in long term you have that connection and understand like this was awesome experience. As always, I hope you like this video. Take care and God bless.